Welcome back to the Forensic Detailing channel. Now, those of you that follow the channel know that I'm a technophobe. Some YouTubers keep up to date with all this technology and they read manuals and they're really good with it all. I'm useless and I'm kind of interested in it. Gadgets are nice and all that sort of stuff, but really I want this audio equipment to function for me and do what I need it to do as best it can with as minimal fuss. That's how I am. Audio. 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Now, Rode, they're an Australian audio company. How do I know this? Because I've always used their microphones. I have an MT1A that Reg, my friend, recommended for me, a condenser mic that I use to record guitar and dubbed audio for my channel when I'm in the office. You know, I also have a Rode shotgun mic. I think it's called a Rode Micro Pro or something that goes onto my Canon M50 camera, and it's shotgun, so it points forward, and when you speak into it, the audio is so much better than the native audio on any camera really that I know of. Now, I believe Rode a few years back introduced wireless microphones. I remember seeing them come out and thinking, oh, they look quite handy, but I didn't buy them. I don't know why. I probably should have done, but I just didn't feel I needed them. And I wasn't shooting all of my footage exclusively on the smartphone camera back then, and virtually nowadays I do. Now, about a year ago, the guys at Fresh Layers bought me this product here, which is called the DJI microphone, which is probably a competitor to the Rode, the new Rode product, isn't it? Now, this DJI microphone, I believe, cost around £290 for a similar thing with two receivers, if you like. The audio goes into those. You can plug one on one t-shirt, one person, one on another, or use this as a hand microphone, and that connects to your video recording device, and the audio will stream in over the airways into this box, and it passes it on. It just forwards it over via a connection, a physical connection. So in that case, a USB, or that's for I don't know what that's called. That's for an Apple, isn't it? An iPhone. Or you can put a hot shoe mount link in and connect it via a cable. So it's got a little socket for a cable. So they thought of the different formats. So let's have a look. Now we've got an idea of the concept of how Rode have tackled the same things. And Rode probably did this first. But this package is updated now. It's got this cradle in it, I think. I don't know if that's new. But that cradle makes it very easy to manage all of these little devices. Because if you didn't have it, you'd be like plugging them all in individually and charging. So that's the first thing I want to get across, is all the devices come in this case that you can connect a USB cable into the back of, and then plug that into a computer or laptop or converter into a power plug, and charge these devices very, very quickly and on the go, okay? So here we have just unplugging it. So here we have the device which you connect directly to your recording device, okay, your smartphone. Now here's the first difference. This is designed to be connected via the USB cable, or that looks like a quarter-inch jack, stereo quarter-inch jack socket, which are standards. Okay, so in other words, a little cable like this, which comes with it, can go from there into your phone, and you're connected. Then you use these, and that's it. You're done. You just literally pick one of these up, pull it in, plug it on, record your audio, etc. Virtually. There's a little bit more complexity though, and this is where I think this is useful as a review. The DJI product, because it has the USB socket on it, will just plug straight in. So if I can find it does help if you get the right end. So that will just pop straight into there. Okay, you need two hands to do this, but there you go. That's quite nifty. This product, I believe, and I'm going off of my raw thoughts, needs to be mounted into a hot shoe mount, which is, this thing here on the top of the, lots of camera tripods and all that sort of stuff tend to have these, don't they? DSLR cameras. So there's a little difference. And ideally, I think if we're looking to do some constructive criticisms of things that could be improved, a means for this to plug directly into your phone so you're not reliant on a hot shoe mount. So this would go here, your phone will go in here. Okay, I'm back. I've just set this up so I could make the point a little bit better. That the DJI's direct input socket or jack or whatever you want to say with no cable straight into the phone is perhaps more desirable for some people than mounting it on another device like a tripod and then cabling it in. For DSLR users, it won't matter. For some smartphone users that carry these around in their pockets but still want to utilise this wireless audio, you know, they might like the idea of that popping in there. Is there any other connection you can get, or connector, hard connector that's not a cable that could do the job? Maybe, but it's going to protrude a little bit and it's untested. So I'm just giving you my thoughts, which are what reviews are all about. Now, one thing that bugged me with the DJI was it comes with its own dead cats, but I can never fit them in the box. So because I couldn't fit them in the box, it's got like a little separate kit bag. I'd always forget them, and then whenever I needed them, I'd never have them. So one thing I wish could be improved with the DJI is that you could always fit the dead cats in there. So important. If they just made that a centimetre taller, it'd give you all this storage in here. You could have a little secret compartment or whatever, or another thing on top. Store all your stuff in one box, because little vloggers like me like everything in one place so we don't forget things, because we've got so much kit to carry around. Now, Rode have thought a little bit about this. Now, you do have two bags, but there's space in the one bag where you carry your equipment that you need to take with you to take all of the things that you'll ever need. I'll only ever need the dead cats for these two devices, okay? You also get with it lavalier mics that you can plug into each of those. I don't see the point in that. It might give you better quality audio and it might be slightly more discreet. I'm not worried about discreet, and whatever the other advantages of having a wired microphone, maybe it's got to be discretion, hasn't it? So you can also, there's dead cats also for these lavaliers in there. All of these wires and stuff are going to sit unused and never get used. The DSLR connection is very unlikely to get used unless I use it with my M50 Canon, which I rarely use nowadays. So this one will sit in my cupboard, okay, and I won't use it. This one is the one that will go around with me everywhere, and I can have the dead cats and just pop them in the top. Yes, it's a bit of a tight fit, but you can fit them in. They fit basically, because that's what I've been doing, which is good. So Rode could factor that in and just give you a little bit more room on top so they fit a little bit more easy, but you can do it. So that's important to me, and I can also fit the USB cable that I need in here as well. That allows me to mount that in there. It also allows me to ever do a transfer if I needed to. It comes with a bigger cable, which I would just keep for charging the main device. But you could also, I guess, use that for a longer mount thing. You get the idea. Now, there's one other important thing with these microphones. So these mount onto a USB in there, which is okay. You just got to pull it a bit more than I'm used to. And they've got the clips on the back. Now, Rode have included a metal plate which goes over that clip, so it can be magnetised, and you get two magnets which are extremely powerful. Look how powerful these are. Watch this, look. Dunk. Really powerful. And obviously they clip onto there, so you can put these magnets behind any piece of clothing on your chest and then mount this onto the magnets, and so you can hold them. That's a really important feature for me, because you don't want to be clipping these on the top areas of a t-shirt or jumper. They're okay on an open shirt where you can clip them in. You want a good, consistent place to mount these correctly. So those magnets get used for me. That's the jack there. That's the jack slot for the Lavelle. In terms of operation, I think it's quite simple on these receivers. I think you have a power on and off button and a record button. And this is the record button. If you press the record button, I would imagine you're recording, don't quote me on this, I haven't even read the instructions, you're recording and storing locally on here to bypass and give you a second copy of the audio on the device, so you can never lose your audio. So if you're getting any interference issues or there's whatever issues, or you're just out and about quickly and you need to record some audio, just press that and talk into it, record the audio and get it off via USB later on. I'm going to have to test that, and I'm going to have to look at firmwares as well and see if these things have got any firmware updates that are required, because that was definitely something that you had to do with the DJI microphone. So very simple to operate, which is also important to me because I am a simpleton. So simple. I've opened these up, and without reading the instructions, I've charged the device fully, and I've looked at them, and I feel like I've got my head around how they work without really too much brain overload. Now, I just want to show you something, and I want to show it here. I want to show you the main control module. So this is the main screen on this device, and you've got two buttons. It's quite simple to operate the buttons. Now, it's showing you there that 1 and 2 with the two receivers are not connected. That is because I assume they're in their docking station. So if I pull this out of the docking station and it's on, then you can suddenly see receiver 1 is now connected. So very simple to use. Does this register record if I press record? Yes, it does. That's great. And it's quick to register. So if we pull the other one out of the docking station, I haven't even taken the tab off that. We now have both microphones active, recording on two separate channels, and we can put those wherever we like to collect two audio sources going to one receiver. Very important. So let's just operate this thing now, guys. So let's press the bottom button. So that is looking at volume. So we can lower the gain and make it quieter. Now, I'd have to do some experimenting with that. That's interesting, isn't it? So I'm just getting my head around this. So I'm back to that screen. So if I press the volume button again, I'm back to 30 dB. So how do I go back up to plus? Is that touch screen? Oh no, okay. I just got to be quicker and press the other button. So now I'd go back to 0 and just leave it with 0 gain and hope 0 is okay. If I'm getting any peaking or over peaking, I'll work on lowering that down. So that screen looks good. I'm assuming this button here takes us to different options on the menu. This one looks like it's a dedicated menu for the receiver 1. So what can I do in there if I press this? So I can go from two different microphone modes, auto and dynamic. I would guess that these have different software controlling how they set the levels and what they do, the effects they put on it and stuff, you know, the EQ or whatever. And that's the stuff you've got to go and read the manual for to know what your best settings are. I'll leave that in audio for now. Let's wait for this to go back. Right, now let's cycle through some more. So channel 1, channel 2 is off, great. Gain mode, so if we press that, we've got different gain modes for different devices. It looks like for camera, for headphones with microphones, and I don't know what that is. That's where I need to go and read the manual, but you'll have a better idea. And it doesn't look like there's any other options on the machine, so it's quite a simple device, guys. One thing I didn't mention is the wireless microphone costs around £380, so I think it's about £90 more expensive than the DJI mic. Now, here's something that's very important to me. With the DJI mic, I've been having some issues with wireless interference in this garage right here, and I thought it was the lights, but I'm not sure what it is. I get a crackle on the DJI mic and I can't work out what's causing the interference. So I record locally, it's fine. It's when it's transmitting the data. I get the same problem on the Rode Microphone Pro, and I'll show you. It's just like a little tiny buzz and crackle as I move around. May have something to do with the lights. It may have. I've tried to test it with those lights off and I thought I was okay, but it was doing it. it's not anything to do with those lights, I think. It might be because I've had those ones on. So I'll do some more testing and I'll figure out what that is. My guess is it's this thing, because there's a big little power ballast thing in there. It's probably causing some RF interference or something like that. When I use them outside of this garage, both of these tend to be absolutely fine. I don't know what the Rode is like in terms of bugs. I don't know what it's like in terms of how robust it is if you throw it around, if you drop on it, if you tread on it, stuff like that. The DJI has been a pretty good servant to me. The only problem I've had with it is sometimes this center device loses power, won't power back on, won't register at all when I put it in this docking station. Even though these pins are clean, I try and clean them with alcohol wipes like they say. I try connecting it directly to a USB power source and it won't power up and it's just dead. And I think it's broken. And then I'll come back a day later and I'll pop it in the charging case and it'll charge straight away and it'll work again. I've had that a couple of times. So it's a little glitch, but it's not been a major problem. Apart from that, I've not really had any problems with the DJI microphone product at all. So it's a good product. Which one would I get? Well, the truth is, I think whichever one you buy first, you should be happy with. But here's my breakdown. If you're really into audio quality, I think Rode are probably one of the best in the business. That's what they do. DJI are a very swift, agile, modern company. They are. But they're from a drone background and now they're branching off into cameras, with the Osmo, very clever camera, and it's got loads of cool features. They're branching into microphones and they're coming up with cool designs and stuff like that. They're cool products. I really like them. But I think with microphones, you can't go wrong with Rode as well. So really, it's going to come down to personal preference. They'll both serve you really, really well. I will be using these heavily now and really putting them to the test and seeing how they take a hammering, because there's little screens on these, little displays on these. Do they crack? And if you ever drop them, because you do end up dropping equipment. I just dropped these a second ago. Don't ask me how. They went flying across the garage, but they're fine. I've dropped them a few times. That's the nature of all this equipment. It gets used quickly when you're in a rush and it can get abused. But it all feels very solid, very easy, very intuitive to use. Yeah, I think I'm going to be really, really happy with the new Rode wireless product. I'll stick a link for this in the description. If any of you have used it, put your thoughts and comments of it in the description. Pretty phenomenal stuff. Like the technology around microphones, especially using all this wireless stuff, and the way it's got so small and the way that you can film reasonably good quality on these smartphones with these wireless mics means that my whole YouTubing world is really come down to getting a decent quality tripod and a really good mic and a good smartphone. That's my daughter's one. That's not so good. My old one. And then you can really go and start creating content, and that's a fantastic thing. Back when I started YouTube, I went and bought a massive Canon 750 EOS something or other D camera, DSLR thing, and I couldn't even work out how to use it. You know, half the time it was wandering around, the focus was going all over the place. So we've come a long way in the last 3 or 4 years, and it's mainly thanks to companies like Rode that are really have their fingers on the pulse of how we're using this technology, and what we want from it. This is a very good bit of equipment. My one piece of constructive criticism is I think Rode are slightly more orientated towards mounting it to professional equipment, professional cameras, and you can obviously do it to smartphones, whereas my world now and the world we're moving into is the smartphones are the future. So perhaps make your primary receiver, if you can compress it, make it really small so it just fits on iPhones or Android phones with it just bolts onto the bottom. You're there. But maybe they didn't want to do that, because maybe that's what these guys have done, and maybe it looks the same. So maybe they wanted to go the other way. Maybe they know their market is a bit more professional and using tripods and all that sort of stuff. But there we go. So that is my review. Thank you very much for watching. Been a different one for me. And take care on the Forensics Detailing channel. Bye for now.